Welcome to a brand new episode of Hero TV. I'm your host, Alex Hampton, and today we'll be getting into another black superhero coming at number 4, Steel. If you haven't seen any of my other previous top 10 black superheroes, just click on the link in the description below where you can see my first video of Static Shock, Black Panther, and also Luke Cage. Now that I got that out the way, let's get into the history of Mr. Steel. Steel was created in 1993. His first appearance was in a Superman comic book in 1993. Now his creators were Louise Simonson and John Bongino. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I'm going to get into more of his origins. Now in his origin, in his comic book, in the Superman comic book that he was featured in, he was a scientific engineer. He was making these weapons for this particular company. When he was making these weapons, he found out that these weapons were getting sold to the wrong people that caused mass destruction. When John found out, he decided to quit his job. After he quit his job, he decided to do construction. When he was on his construction site one day, one of his co-workers was falling to his death. John ended up saving him, but in the process of saving his co-worker, he was falling to his death as well. As he was falling, Superman came and saved him, and right then and there, that's what inspired Mr. John Hines to become a hero of some sort of Superman's image. Later on down the line, there's this comic that came out, a Superman comic book called The Death of Superman. When Superman died, John decided to build a suit, a steel suit that kind of mirrors the fact of Superman with a big S on his chest and a red cape, going to carry on Superman's legacy as the new Man of Steel in a matter of words. So he decided to call himself Steel, and he decided to protect Metropolis and other parts of the world. Now that I've gotten his origin out the way, let's talk about Steel's powers. Now, Steel is just basically DC's Iron Man in a sense. He has his power hammer, and his suit is made out of complete, authentic iron steel. He is bulletproof. He has super strength. He can fly. He can shoot lasers out of his arms, and he can also basically has X-ray visions through buildings, people. He can be kind of a telepath by basically scanning people's thoughts. But mind you, Steel wouldn't be a superhero if it wasn't for his suit. So outside of his suit, he doesn't have any powers. But inside of his suit, he's basically another version of Superman, just basically a man in a steel suit who has impeccable powers. Now that I got his powers out of the way, let's talk about Steel's appearances. He's still in various appearances in comic books like the Justice League comic books, and also in the New 52 where they did Infinity Inc. Now, while he was in his own particular comic books at the time in 1994 when he had his own series, he was basically saving people within his own series. It was about a 52 comic books or comic book run, and then once the New 52 launched, he had his own run where basically his origin is a little bit more different. Throughout the iterations of comic books, Steel has made multiple appearances on not just the JLA, but he's also made appearances in certain Teen Titan comic books, and he's also made appearances on different Infinity Inc. Group comic books. That's a group that Steel decided to start in terms of a group team up comic. Now that I've gotten his appearances out of the way, let me give you some recommendations of where you can currently see Mr. Steel now. Okay, in 2017, you can still pick up a Steel comic book. I would date back to his original comic books that he launched in 1994, where it's a 52 series where you get to basically see the origins of basically a superhero being born. You also do see Steel giving back to his own community, where he found out where the weapons that were sold for mass destruction, he goes there to stop those weapons from being mass produced and also harming people. He, in a nutshell, he does become the brand new Superman until Superman comes back to life. And Superman sees that John Henry Hines is a good Superman, and he basically gives him his own division to protect a different city or a different state where Superman and him will collide, or not collide, but collaborate with one another if needed. But when Superman did come back, Steel basically still took on the mantle of the Man of Steel, but he protected others in different cities. Thank you for watching this episode of Hero TV. I'm so glad you guys keep coming back and watching these videos of black superheroes. Again, I'm starting a campaign called Black Heroes Matter, so get on that. I'm gonna have these videos coming out every week, so keep looking at these videos. Also, stay tuned in next week where I mention the next black superhero, Bishop from the X-Men. That's going to be awesome. He's actually one of my favorite X-Men characters in the whole entire X-Men. If you want to also know what I'm doing, just like me on Facebook at Brand New Productions. at facebook.com/Brand New Productions. Also, if you want to know what I'm doing on YouTube, just subscribe to my YouTube page as well. This is Alex from Hero TV. You guys have a great day.